Hello to all of my BPTV fans, Facebook fans, YouTube fans. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, and I'm here today to do my 67th The Talking Machine show. I have another great guest. Will you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Holly Turkovic. I'm the owner of Everline Coatings and Services of Greater Pittsburgh.
Wow, great to have you on, my friend. We were just talking before the show. I met her right after my kidney transplant of September 13th, 2019. It was Lucky Friday the 13th. Now, when did we meet? We talked about it.
Yes. So you had your transplant in September.
Yeah.
That following December, I started at NKF.
And when did you start?
I think it was like December 5th. We met on around December 12th-ish.
Yes, that's where I remember meeting you because you said, I've been here a week.
Yes. Yeah. So
And I talked to you and Jenny on the phone.
Yes. And you came down to the NKF offices and we
On
held...
Southside.
Yes. And we held a meeting and it was planning for the gala, the Kidney Gift of Life gala, and you were on the committee.
I was honored. They put me on their biggest event of the year because I can talk a little and I have a great story.
Yeah, and everyone hears from you. You're active on social.
Thank
You have
you.
a great following.
Thank you.
And they need that. They need that vocal.
Well, I try to help out and help others what I can. I actually got two people kidney transplants. Bobby Reed, her son.
Yes.
We did a promo on that for a while.
Nice.
And he
got his transplant.
Yes. Then Officer Crawford, City.
Jeff.
Yes.
Yes.
He supposedly got a transplant.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Did you ever hear that story, by the way?
No.
Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So he was, and this isn't my story to tell, but it's a Cole story, so you can get the whole
You know,
thing
I
from
like
him.
them. Yes.
So he was asked by another officer if he could pick up a shift for him, duty at a local church. So he goes to this local church, and the pastor calls him up and says, hey, everyone, this is Officer Crawford. He's in need of a kidney transplant. We'd like you guys to stick around. We're going to pray for him.
Yeah.
So the congregation, the choir, everybody prays for him.
Wow.
Well, one woman from the choir came up to him and said, I'm your donor. And he was like, what? And she's like, I'm your donor. God told me
Right.
I'm going to be your donor. And he goes, oh, that's awesome. He goes, there's a huge process to go through, though. This is what it is.
Right.
And then we'll see what happens. Well, and I'm speeding up this story.
No, right. We only got 29 minutes. Ooh.
And she, long story short, she gets tested, and she was in fact his donor.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah,
me.
she's a
God
Pittsburgh.
is great.
Yes, yeah, she's a Pittsburgh public school teacher.
That is so great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he was with the schools and everything else as a police officer. Yeah.
He was always helping out in the community.
Yeah, just a great guy. I met him at the gala the one time. Was Zinna Scott.
Yes.
She's friends with him.
Yep.
And yeah, so it's a small world. And you were great at the Kidney Foundation. So we talked a little bit at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And you left.
Yes.
Now we got to get into the story. What did you and your husband come up with?
So, in January.
Give us the details.
All right. So in January every year, we do goal planning. So we look at all these different areas of our life. So from family to legacy to bucket list things, projects around the house that we meant to do that we didn't get done, career, finances, you name it. We
Yeah.
look at all these different areas. Every year, as long as we've been together, we've kind of...
And how long is that?
15 years.
God bless you. That's great.
Thank you. Ever since we've been together, we've kind of talked about, hey, we should go out and start our own business. My husband always worked in like a really dirty industry.
Yeah.
And a lot of the older guys that he worked with
What industry was it?
industrial construction, but he worked right outside of coal mines.
Wow.
And
Just that dust alone is terrible.
yeah, he would come home covered black.
I knew coal miners in my ex-wife's family. They were coal miners, and they
Yeah.
said that's why they have the bathrooms in the basement. You can
Yeah,
take
so
your
rinse
clothes
it
off
all.
and down the drain.
Yep. So he was seeing a lot of the guys that he worked with, like the older guys, not make it to retirement, get sick before they retired or die before they retired.
That's terrible.
And it was 2022, and we're goal planning. We actually had all these cabins. So my husband's birthday is January 2nd.
Okay.
We had every cabin in Coosier State Park rented. all of our family, friends coming from Virginia, Tennessee, etc.
How cool
to
is
celebrate.
that? Yeah.
We get there Thursday. Friday, Tony gets COVID. We leave by Friday evening, and all of our friends or family are there having a nice weekend while we're at home. So we had this extended period of time to sort of think
Yeah.
about what we wanted to do this year, goal plan, more than usual.
Right.
We were sick, but not so sick that we couldn't goal plan. So we started talking about, is this the year that we're going to start our own business?
Right.
And he said, well, babe, you got to have money to make money. We don't have a lot.
Right.
And he's like, everything that I know how to do involves really heavy equipment, tools, it's expensive.
Yeah.
The insurance alone would be probably out of our ballpark.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm just watching my retirement kind of go down.
Yeah.
And I would rather blow it all now on you, on us, if that meant you got to actually enjoy retirement and live to see retirement, because the work that he was currently doing, who knows if he would have made it. So he was like, really? You would do that? And I'm like, absolutely. So the next question was, what are we going to do? Because I worked in nonprofit my whole life.
Right.
He worked in industrial construction. So how do we bring both of our skill sets to the table and do something that makes sense for both of us?
I can't even imagine that, and I have a good imagination. So clue me in on this.
So we were like, so I said, what about franchising? And he's like, what are you talking, like Chick-fil-A, a doggy daycare? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, we went to high school together. He was actually 2 years younger than me, 2 years older than my husband. He owned a franchise for the last 20 years and posted online about it. So I said, let's reach out to him, see what we can learn, and we'll go from there. So we reach out to him. We go through this huge process. We get showed 5 different franchise opportunities that make sense for this region, this climate.
Just for our area.
Yes.
That is great.
My skills, Tony's skills, and not necessarily just for our area, but is available, because there might not be, for example, like Chick-fil-A, you're not going to put one right next door to the other.
Right. Unless you're Subway, they put them everywhere.
See, yeah, and we're not.
No,
we're not
I had to
Subway.
bring that up because I looked at franchises over the years.
Yeah.
I was around, I'm older than you, when they got the first Wendy franchise.
Okay.
So I looked at getting that, and they had a couple of these rich people that already locked up areas.
Okay.
Yeah, so I learned that at a young age,
So
in my early 20s.
Yeah, so they showed us 5, BJ showed us 5 different franchises. This one was Everline, parking lot and pavement maintenance.
Wow.
And we thought, well, this is cool because parking lots are everywhere. So regardless of the type of business you have, if it's brick and mortar, you have a parking lot.
Good point.
So whether
you are pretty smart, both of you.
So we said, this is one we're really interested in. And there's a 10-step process that you have to go through to learn about it, to see if you could financially do it.
Plus the money you need down, how they finance it, what kind of percentages you make. See, I know the list.
Yes, yeah. So we get through that whole process, and now it's time to pull the money together for it. And yeah, and we don't exactly have it.
Yeah.
So
can you mention what you needed, or you want to keep that private? Or?
So we ended up, we had to put down like $75,000.
Okay.
And then we got a loan out for $284,000.
$354,000. How's my math?
I was like, I was kind of twitching.
I'm a little twitchy right now with that.
So, but I actually wasn't nervous then. I'll tell you when I got the nerves.
That's why we got you here.
We were kind of like, all right, we were thinking this is not for us. We were thinking this is probably not going to be for us.
That's your first thought?
Yeah, our first thought is, we live in small town America. We both come from humble backgrounds.
Sure.
There's no way that we're going to be able to make this happen.
Right.
So we were kind of praying, we were praying about it.
Well, sure,
God,
why not?
If this is for us, throw this door open.
Help
if it's
us.
not, slam it shut.
Yeah.
And he comes in at the 11th hour, and, there's roadblocks, but he kind of, moves them out of the way for us.
Yeah, he opened the door.
Yeah, he opened a lot of doors for us.
Wow. So one thing after another.
Yeah, and it was wild because everybody around us, I actually just heard a sermon, or I just heard somebody say on Sunday, or Friday actually last week.
Okay.
It's a God thing, sometimes it's questionable. Is it crazy, or is it a God thing, or is it both?
Well, and here's the other thing. God doesn't tell you when or why or how it'll happen. It just happens when you're at wit's end.
Yeah. So
And
here's me and my
I've seen it,
husband
yes.
going into a parking lot pavement maintenance business, and looking to find a way to fund it, to come up with these funds,
yeah.
because we didn't have it. So we knew that we could do that my husband would do the field operations, and I would
Right.
do all the sales, marketing, admin side.
Sure.
And that part can be done early morning, late at night, anytime. The operation side needs to be done
Daylight.
when our clients want it. So he was going to have to quit his job. So not only did we have to come up with all of this money,
He loses income.
but we also lose income. He makes more money than me.
Sure.
He holds all of our benefits. So like there were all of these things that were like,
All coming together. Yeah. Wow.
so, and we had to come up with all this money. So God helped us get creative.
What
and
happened?
We sold my husband's truck.
Okay.
We sold my husband's small fishing, like aluminum fishing boat.
Okay.
We sold his quad. We sold about 300 square foot of stuff out of our house on
You're
Facebook
kidding.
Marketplace. So I'm talking Nintendo Wii, an old air conditioner, you name it, we were selling it
Sure.
out of our
you
house.
needed money.
We emptied our savings. We cashed in our Roth IRAs.
Wow.
And my mother-in-law contributed $10,000 to the business. And
What a gamble.
yeah. So then we put all that in and we go through our onboarding process. And during our onboarding process, we're applying for an SBA loan, which
course.
is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
All that you go through on that. I know people, a friend of mine helped others like you to get over $73 million in a 30-year career. Yeah, I can give you her name later on if you need other help. She's a personal friend of mine, and
Awesome.
she's still doing this in her 70s.
I'd
helping
appreciate
others.
that.
Yeah, we'll
Yes,
connect
so we
after
applied for this SBA loan. We got approved. It took a really long time, and it was a lot of paperwork.
that.
and
Sure.
It gets approved. We signed the paperwork, and from that point on, I couldn't sleep.
When did you sign?
We signed on June something. I forget what the
So
date
it's
was.
like 6 months after
Yeah.
you did this. So you signed up.
We signed. Well, we signed the SBA. We signed on with Everline in March. We started onboarding in April.
Right. So you needed to learn what you had to do and
yeah.
how to do it.
Yeah,
Plus
we
you got to buy equipment and everything else,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because it's not just the one franchise
And we're
thing.
operating out of our house. We were. We're not anymore, but we were.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So.
What a story so far. Stay tuned. There's more coming. This is a great story, and you're in business today.
Yes. Yeah. So June.
How do they get a hold of your business before we go too far? Because you piqued my interest. Somebody else might be interested.
Okay. So you could call me 412-206-9422. You could look us up online, everlinecoatings.com.
Spell it just in case they don't.
EVERLINE coatings, COATINGS.com.
Wow, so it's coatings. Yes.
Yes, plural.
Okay, we got that out there. Now we can carry on.
Yeah, so
So now it's June.
we signed the
SBA's
paperwork in March. We onboard April, May. We go to in-person training in June. We end of June, we get our SBA loan. July, we are starting to do business. We're starting to do work.
Wow.
And from the time we got our SBA,
Yeah.
I signed it and we started spending this money that
You had to, yeah.
I wasn't used to spending that kind of money. If we didn't have cash to buy things, we didn't buy it.
Right.
We didn't. We
You
just
didn't live beyond your means.
no. We never used. We didn't use credit cards really that much.
Well, this is foreign then to you on everything.
Yes. Yeah. I had college debt and like a car loan and a house, but other than that, so it was really hard.
Wow, that's a monster.
I wasn't sleeping, and I didn't realize I wasn't sleeping until July 2nd, right before our opening day is July 12th or 14th. July 2nd, Tony is inviting family over to our house to celebrate my birthday.
Yeah.
And I said, before family comes over, I think I need to go to the hospital. And he was like, what's going on? I'm like, something's wrong. Like, I've been stressed where my eye twitches.
Yeah.
But I've never been so stressed that my cheeks were twitching.
And your eyes.
And my arms and my leg muscles. You could see my chest through like whatever clothing. When I was eating, my hand, I couldn't keep my hand still.
Wow. Hold your hand still now. Okay. Just checking.
So here I wasn't
We have
sleeping.
EMT right nearby.
And I was exhausted and I didn't realize I wasn't sleeping. Well, here
Yeah.
I was going to bed. I was tired, but I would lay down and my mind would just spin like, I have to do this, I have to do that. Meanwhile, I still have a full-time job.
I know.
So
that's
I'm
what I
doing
was
my full-time job and we have one income now, more bills, and it was my first experience with anxiety.
Right.
My mind spinning, thinking worst case scenario, if I don't perform at this most highest level,
Yeah.
we're going to live in my mom's basement. We're going to lose everything that we worked our whole life for.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
How'd you overcome this then?
Well, July 2nd, my husband takes me in the hospital and I said, give me anything. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's anxiety, stress. I don't know. I just told him everything that was going on. They prescribed me 3 different medicines. Nothing really worked. They said, you really just need to get some sleep. And I said, well, I have trouble sleeping because my mind just keeps going.
Right.
So they gave me medicine to help me sleep that weekend. Went to my mom's house where your mom just, takes care of you.
Sure, all good
So
moms, yeah.
I open up my eyes. She's there to feed and give me something to drink, take the
Nice.
medicine, go. And every time I opened my eyes, like every time I woke up that weekend, I would just pray, God, please take this from me. Like, what is going on? And I would just hear the words, be still. Be still and
Yeah.
know that I am God. And
I've had that happen to me with some things. Yes, I just hear that voice.
yeah. And
I'm with you, I understand.
And I wanted an answer. I wanted him to say, like, yeah, I'm going to take it from you. And he wasn't. He was just saying, be still. Like, stop striving. If you and to me, like him saying, be still, in my language is, if you keep pushing, if you keep striving, you're not letting me be God. You're not letting me step in
Right.
and do things. That's whenever I feel like I built my relationship really with him. Like, I always knew him, but I feel
Yeah.
like my relationship really started
No,
then.
thanks for sharing this because I believe that way, and I've been in God's hands my whole life since I was 18 and a half when I got hired.
18 and a half.
Yeah, how's that? That's another story, but some people know that story. I can tell you off air, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
so-
another interesting one.
So,
No, so now you got this.
Yes.
You're on some medications and you're getting
no,
some help. You're not?
none of the medicines worked for me. I only have one kidney. That was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was born with one kidney, so that was
You're
why.
like 2 friends of mine.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I
Was
first.
the foundation.
Yeah, but so whenever you have one kidney, your body processes things differently than other people. So
It has to.
the medicine just wasn't working for me. Really, what worked for me
And
was
you have to
getting
watch
up.
what medicines you do take.
Yes.
Because on my blood pressure, I have to watch and other things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So none of the medicines were working for me. What it came down to,
I
Al,
salute you.
was getting up every morning, getting out of bed, not letting the devil keep me there in bed, getting out of bed.
Right. So your faith actually overcame the anxiety.
Oh yeah, like I don't have any tattoos, but I got one because it was such a huge thing in my life.
And what's that?
Faith over fear.
There you go. That is awesome.
Yeah, you can't be driven by fear, and sometimes we are. Sometimes fear could be a good thing, but most of the time it's overpowering, and it's
Well, to
faith is
motivate you,
bigger.
it's good. When it tears you apart, it's bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the distinction. Yes.
Yeah, so I just started getting up, diving into my devotional every morning, reading my Bible, praising through the storms.
Being grateful.
Yes, being grateful and getting knocked down.
Many
getting hit,
times.
Black eyes, getting knocked down. And sometimes, in the very beginning, I was staying down for a little too long.
Right.
Now I'm kind of like,
You're back up
what's
again.
up? What's up? Like I get back up a lot quicker.
No, that's
The
good.
blows still come because with business ownership, there's so many uncertainties and
Well,
you're
I'll
troubleshooting every day.
I'll share this with anybody that's an entrepreneur like me and you. They think we're rich. Guess what? Sometimes you're putting 60, 70 hours in a week.
Yeah.
And then you got to pay all the bills, plus
Right.
make sales,
Right.
plus do the work, plus hire people, plus
Right.
buy stuff.
Yeah, a lot of times, like most people make sacrifices when they first start their businesses for several years.
Well,
3
they
to
work
5.
more than 40 hours.
And they're sacrificing like salary wise.
Yeah.
Like I didn't pay myself until December of last year. My husband, both of us, between the two of us, were not even making anywhere near what we made
Sure.
since like 2009.
Well,
but
how could you?
right. We're investing. This is a choice, though. I
You're-
don't want anybody to feel bad about that.
No, your sales, you put the money into the business.
Yes,
and
we
pay
want
your
to put it
bills.
back in the
You want
business.
to grow it.
Yes.
Just
Buy
want to get that
equipment.
point out there. Yes.
Yeah. So we're investing really back into the business, investing in professional development in our staff. On rain days, we're continuing to keep our staff working because the guys that we have are really good, and we definitely don't want
And
to
how
lose
many
them.
guys do you have?
Right now we have 3 guys, 3 people in our crew, plus Tony, plus 1 part-time office staff member.
Oh, okay.
But we're still hiring because we're working to build crew number 2.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you've been doing business continuously?
So we do business anytime, for the most part. All of our services are parking lot pavement maintenance. So
Okay.
pothole repair, crack filling, seal coating,
Oh, you
line
do all
striping.
that?
Yes.
That's what I want to put out there. Yes, they're not just putting lines on.
No, so once the asphalt is down, we come in and maintain it. We are basically just working to help people protect that investment. So if there's potholes coming in, fixing those, crack filling, seal coating, line striping, installs, so your parking blocks, bollards, signage. We also do sports courts.
Wow.
So think tennis courts, pickleball courts, etc. We'll come in.
Pickleball's popular.
Yes, we're changing some courts that were something else to pickleball courts. So we come in, we repair them, we resurface
Oh, and you get it
them.
all ready to go pickleball.
Yes, we resurface and then put the lines back down. A lot of that work, all of that work, can't be done unless it's dry and above 40 degrees outside.
Wow,
We
there
live
you
in
go.
Pittsburgh.
Above 40 degrees, call Holly.
Yes.
You got the number.
So that's
Everline coatings will be there.
Yes, yes. And we cover like everything east, west, and south of the city.
So you got the whole compass of the area, the greater
the most
Pittsburgh
part.
area plus.
Yeah, the north area of our territory is a little bit broken up, but we
Where
got
do you live at?
So we live in Port View,
Okay.
and our office and shop is in McKeesport.
Oh, my mother's family was from East McKeesport. I have fond memories back in the 60s.
Nice when it was booming over there.
It was so great. G.C. Murphy and all the stores, it was vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed. We won't go to there now.
Unfortunately.
But-
So you had asked about, do we go year round? Unfortunately, we can't. However, there are services that we provide in the winter.
That's what I wanted to know.
So it's interior lines. So think about Amazon warehouses, manufacturing plants,
Ooh,
distribution
yeah.
centers. Places like those have interior lines where forklifts can
Well,
go.
I worked forklifts in a 10,000 square foot area. We had to take stacks, 1,000-pound skid of bundles to the warehouse for the
Okay.
Teamsters to get out. We had lines and we had
So-
areas, lines on the floor, and then we had numbers
Yes.
on where our products went.
Yes.
Because we had the unfinished product came in a bulk area. Finished products were, see, I know some stuff.
Yeah,
had all
so
these
we
numbers
wanna put
and
those
lines.
down in
they
those
had
places.
the lines the size of a skid,
Yep.
4x4 or whatever it was,
Yep.
type skid.
Yeah, so that's what we want to do
Wow.
in the wintertime. But not everybody needs those services in the wintertime. So unfortunately.
But some wouldn't even know who to call because they've done it inside when they built the place.
Right. Yes.
So that's an opportunity.
And anytime I'm constantly like scanning to see if there's new builds happening so that I could reach out to those
Sure.
folks.
You want to get in early.
Yeah, and we want to keep our guys working. When you get good people working, you don't want to lay them off.
They need the money. Come
Yes,
on.
they
And
still
so do
have bills
you.
to pay. Yeah, they have bills to pay year
When
round.
they work, you make money.
Yes, yeah. So
No, that is good. And do you have any big projects? Like, what's the biggest project you've done?
biggest project we've done. We did all of the travel plazas across the PA Turnpike. So from Verona out to Philly. Even though they were separate, 14 separate projects, I would say that was our largest
That's
contract.
so cool. I wanted
Yeah.
to hear something. That's great.
Yeah, so we did all the travel plazas. They wanted to get their pavement markings freshened up
And working
before
with
winter.
the state got to be interesting too.
We actually, so 7-Eleven owns all of the travel plazas.
Wow.
Yeah, so we worked with 7-Eleven.
See, I'm going to dig deeper there.
Yes.
No, that is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
So that opens up other opportunities too, I'm sure.
yes. Yeah, and we work with some property managers who have a whole portfolio and who, because we're new, started out giving us 1 or 2 properties, but now...
Well, they want to see what you do.
Yes. But now, some of them have opened up a majority of their portfolio
That's
to
great
us.
because there's
Yes.
some big complexes around in the area with
Yes.
apartments and everything else, let alone, commercial businesses.
Yep.
Except not in the city of Pittsburgh right now.
Well,
because they're sort of in trouble.
and well, I think Pittsburgh's going to see its comeback. I think it's going to look different. It's maybe not going to be your office space, but I think
Well, I heard occupancy's down by like 70% or something.
it
or
is.
more.
Well, I think a lot of major cities are struggling with that.
No, they are.
because of
It's not just
COVID.
us.
Yeah.
We got our own problems, but
yes.
so does everybody else.
Yeah.
But you're looking for people that have lines and they need repaired or they need initial painting.
Yeah, so any parking lots that have any potholes, cracks,
You don't do driveways or anything, do you?
we do. We don't promote it, but we do driveways. The reason we don't promote it is because we have bigger equipment, and it costs a lot for us to, get 3 guys out. And
No,
sometimes
I wanted
we
to put
can't.
it out there because I was thinking of saying that because, there's a lot of asphalt driveways out there.
Yes. And what makes it nice is like a whole community will get them, or not like community, but like a whole block or a family
Yeah,
of
we'll
homes
say you
will
got
come
from this
together.
stop sign to the other stop sign,
Yeah.
there's a dozen people.
Yeah, a lot of times we'll get one phone call from one person. They'll say, me and all of my neighbors want to get. So we don't promote it, but we do neighborhoods.
Right.
And
If
a lot of
somebody's
times
inquiring,
we help them.
you can. That is great.
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
that's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
No, and I'm so proud and honored to know you. I don't know if I met your husband.
You may have met him at the Kidney Gift of Life Gala because he was there the year that you were on
I
the
was
committee.
On the initial, yeah.
Yes.
No, I think he's a bigger guy.
He's about your size, I think.
Yeah, us big guys, like we call that. Yeah. Taller than you.
Oh yeah, I'm not. It doesn't take much to be taller than
no
me.
doubt. Well, we get down to about our last 2 minutes,
Okay.
and I always say, how could you inspire somebody else to try doing what you did? You already tipped about being
Yeah.
with God and your scriptures, and but
Just
what would
stepping
you?
out
What's
and
the advice?
Really? Okay, so something last year, the reason I decided to finally quit
Yeah.
is business started getting slow. And I said to my husband, I can't help it. I'm just really busy with my full-time job and I'm tired in the evenings and he said, well, it's always going to be that way. It is. So you need to make a decision. And, God hasn't let us down so far.
Wow.
Why would he now?
Strong husband you got there.
Actually, and that's when that day, within minutes, we got all of those travel plazas.
No way.
Yeah, and we didn't seek
Let
out
me
that
say,
work.
God is great.
Yes, he is.
Amen to that.
So we give him all the glory. But I just tell people, so he said I need to just do it. He's like, you need to quit thinking about stuff so much and just do it. And I said, but I'm afraid. And so he said, you need to do it afraid.
Right.
And I started using that hashtag, and I stumbled upon the chaplain of Pittsburgh Steelers, does a whole presentation on doing it afraid.
Right.
So I like to think that I started out doing it afraid, and now I'm doing it brave. So that's my message to other people. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Well,
Step out of your comfort zone.
I'll co-sign that. I've done a lot of things and started a lot of businesses, do a bunch of shows. And if people have an idea, they want to have a lot of meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I understand right now. Let's just do it.
Yes.
And they're like, what? And I go, like Nike said, do it.
Yeah,
And
just
that's
do
what
it.
I've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I co-sign Holly 100%.
Yeah.
And it's so
You
great.
might start out doing it afraid, but eventually you end up doing it brave. And
Well, even if you're still afraid, you're still doing it.
yes. Yeah. And it's
That's
more
the
than you
main
were doing
thing.
before.
No, there's no doubt about it. Well, our time's just about up.
Okay.
And I want to thank you for being a great guest.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so honored that I had the opportunity to meet you and get to know you. And
You're so welcome. We're friends, and if I
Yes.
can't help friends out, something's wrong with me.
Nothing's
so,
ever
all right,
wrong with
nothing.
you, Al.
Thank all of you for watching. Appreciate all your great feedback. And until the end of the month, I got a special guest coming. He's a paraplegic, Attila Domos. He actually has competed and won the marathon and a cycle. So he's a cyclist champion. Check out next month or at the end of the month.